Valentine's Day is a day seen all over the world as a day about love, a day covered in red, white, and pink. A day of chocolates, candy hearts, and romantic Hallmark cards. But most people don't think about or even know how this holiday got started. You do have the child-friendly version that it's a day named after Catholic priest St. Valentine, and the conspiracy theory that it was started by corporations to sell cards and candy. While the conspiracy theory, like many others, has no basis in reality, the St. Valentine's Day origin does. But there's more to this holiday's origin, and it's much more focused on red than any other color. And that red is blood. These are the bloody origins of Valentine's Day. We first look to the early days of Christianity in the 3rd century, a time when the Roman Empire was still persecuting Christians. During this exact time in question, Roman Emperor Claudius II forbade any young people from getting married. This was because he felt that young men should all serve in the empire's army, and he believed that single men made stronger soldiers than married men. But one man who opposed this draconian system was St. Valentine, so he began marrying young couples himself in secret. The Catholic Church supported this action as they felt it would strengthen the church and increase the religion's influence, especially since most of the young men and women who were being married by Valentine were already Christians. But eventually Emperor Claudius found out about what the priest was doing and imprisoned him. At the end of his prison sentence, the emperor had him executed in a 3-part manner. First, he was beaten by the imperial guards. Then they stoned him, and finally, decapitated him. The execution took place on February 14th. Before this took place, though, Valentine had fallen in love with the daughter of one of the prison guards. This young woman's name was never confirmed by historians, as some information surrounding St. Valentine is inconsistent or some details were never recorded. But the information we do have is that Valentine sent this woman a final letter of love. He signed the end of the letter, "From your Valentine." After this, the Catholic Church named February 14th Valentine's Day and had it celebrated as a day about love. But there is another bloody ritual in Rome that took place around this time of year. For this, we have to go back to the pre-Christian era. From February 13th to the 15th, there was a ritualistic event called the Feast of Lupercalia. It was a feast to celebrate fertility. On the first day, a certain order of Roman priests named the Luperci would gather inside a cave. There, they would sacrifice a goat for fertility and a dog to purify their lands and people. But it didn't stop at sacrificing. The priests would then cut the skin of the goats into strips, dip them in a bowl of blood, then leave the cave for the Roman streets. There they would use these blood-soaked strips to slap any woman or crop they came across. Women welcomed these slaps because they believed it would make them more fertile and thus increase their odds of having children. It was also believed that slapping crops would make them grow bigger for a more bountiful harvest. At the end of the festival, the names of several Roman women were placed inside an urn, then drawn at random by the city's single men. Whichever names got chosen were then paired off with the men for the rest of the year. Sometimes the unions resulted in marriages, but this was all based on populating the country, nothing more. We don't know if Emperor Claudius chose to execute St. Valentine on February 14th because it was right in the middle of the Lupercalia festival, or if it was just a coincidence. Regardless, the festival itself was another tradition co-opted by the church in order to convert more pagans. As you might have guessed based on our History of Halloween video, the traditions surrounding blood were removed and outlawed by the church during the co-opting. The church also changed the name of the festival to St. Valentine's Day to blend with their priest who was killed for marrying young Christians. But because the church wanted the holiday to focus on love, the part of St. Valentine being executed is rarely ever taught to children or even discussed by adults. Most people in the world prefer to spend the holiday by buying chocolates and cards and trying to get extra romantic for a special someone, all the while forgetting the blood that was shed to start this holiday. Thank you for watching this spooky history video. Check out some of our other history videos here. Have a happy Valentine's Day.